What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another updated deck video for Link Evolution. Today I'm bringing in some Mayakashi action as I did grow to like the deck back before the update. We did get some new cards as well now that helped the deck a lot, and I had quite a bit of fun with it, so I figured I'd throw the video together and get you guys up to speed. The Zombie Synchro deck specializes in Synchro climbing through all of their on-theme Synchro monsters and reviving them later from the graveyard to trigger their effects to disrupt and weaken the opponent. A core restriction of the deck is that once you start using your main deck monster effects, you become locked into only summoning Mayakashi monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. This doesn't stop our small zombie world engine with Doom King Baldarok, however, and Bolan, another new card from the update. The reason we are running the zombie world engine this time around is thanks to a new Mayakashi card we received with the update, and that is Yuki Musume, the Ice Mayakashi. Musume can mill any zombie monster from the deck when it is special summoned by its own effect, making good use of Necroworld Banshee, Glow Up Bloom, and even Mezuki. Bolan is another useful card as it can discard any monsters who prefer to be in the grave, but more importantly it has a revival effect on the opponent's turn, which is amazing for the Mayakashi Synchro monsters who have filled the grave the turns before. For the last new main deck card we got, it's Mayakashi Winner, a continuous spell card that lowers the stats of your opponent's monsters depending on the monsters in your graveyard. While that effect is okay, its better effects come afterwards. Its graveyard effect lets you revive a Mayakashi monster from the graveyard, which by now you guys should know is important in this deck. We did get one new Mayakashi Link monster, and that is Yuki Onna, the Absolute Zero Mayakashi. Like her name suggests, she is pretty much an evolved version of her Link 2 counterpart. This card is pretty nuts as she doesn't need Mayakashi materials to summon her. She can negate your opponent's monster effects that trigger when they are banished, such as Thunder Dragons. Whenever a monster is summoned from the graveyard or an effect is activated in the grave, she can negate the effects of a monster and reduces attack points to 0 up to twice per turn. Combined with 2900 attack, this is definitely a monster you want to go into whenever you get the chance. Along with her, I threw in some Shiranui monsters who synergize with the deck such as Sun Saga and Squire Saga. As with any deck that banishes frequently, we have to run Psyframe Mode Omega as well. Some of your most important starting plays will involve summoning Hajin, as he can summon Daki from the deck, the tuner who makes this deck pop. Daki special summons itself from the graveyard every time you special summon a Mayakashi monster from the extra deck, enabling its ability to constantly synchro into your entire extra deck. Mayakashi Return is your main spell searcher. In the event that you open Daki, you can use Return to search or mill Musume instead to get rolling into those zombie world plays we love. Moving on to the replay, we got our Synchro climbing rolling just like I mentioned. Unfortunately, we do not have another way to mill Glow Up Bloom to follow up on Zombie World, but just that alone can disrupt some decks that rely on type specific materials. Normally I would stop at Gasha the Kuro to end my Synchro climb, but since we have a means of revival on the opponent's turn, I can go into Yuki Onna and react to whatever my opponent does to disrupt him however needed. This isn't the best opening I would like to see, but it is what we're going to have to settle with for now. Back to the Front is really good in this deck as we want to summon our Synchro monsters on our opponent's turn specifically most of the time. My opponent does something interesting at the start of his turn and activates Swords' Concealing Light. Between this and Revealing Light, those cards are sadly common on ranked decks sometimes for whatever reason, but luckily it doesn't affect us at all. He is playing something worth paying attention to though, and that is Crusadius. Knowing that this deck gets rolling more and more with each Link summon, I decided to cut it short and revive Yoko to pop his monster. With a Synchro monster now on board, Yuki Onna cannot be attacked and will disrupt the monster if Yoko is destroyed, along with Yoko floating into Tengu. My opponent does have more plays though, as he has enough Mech Knight monsters in his hand to Link summon. He didn't seem to have any of the more threatening Mech Knight monsters, so we don't have to worry too much about Morningstar by himself. From here I know I safely have a play with Mezuki to go into our Link 4 and have a revive thanks to him hitting the graveyard, not even taking the card we draw into effect yet. As we mentioned before, Swords of Revealing Light does hit the field, and this does pose a sight issue because now we can't attack. So we do have to find a way to get Tengu out of the grave to pop it somehow. We do manage to draw Gozuki however, so we can finally mill Glow Up Bloom and then get Doom King Baldarok onto the field. Now with Doom King in the game, we have another threat for our opponent to deal with, and we still have our Link 4 playing to Absolute Zero. With Gozuki hitting the grave, I can summon Mezuki from the hand and use it as another Link material, being careful not to trigger Daki on the Link 4 summon, as it would have locked us into Synchros for the rest of the turn. I do fall asleep here as I have the opportunity to chain Doom King to banish something from my opponent, but it doesn't matter too much in the end. With Mezuki in the grave, we can revive Tengu to pop swords, and with Masume still alive in the graveyard, we can mill another Mezuki for an OTK. On this note, it's a good idea to consider Vampire Sucker for the extra deck in this scenario, as it slipped my mind despite being such a staple zombie link monster. This deck can get some decent boards going, but do be on the lookout for graveyard disruption and other back row that could slow you down. No matter what here, we have victory despite the Call of the Haunted our opponent has set, as even if it would have saved him, our opponent is in a top deck situation. This is a quick replay this time, but I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.